Got another ScrawlrBox. Hi everyone, if you're new here, my name is Sally and I'm a mixed media artist in Australia, and if you're not new here, welcome back. So today I have ScrawlrBox number 111. This would be the November box. This is an art subscription box from the UK, and each month you get a box full of mystery art supplies with a zine that has lots of information about how to use the supplies and lots of tutorials, and you also get a prompt word to help inspire you to create artwork using the supplies included. So let's unbox that and make some art. Now, I don't know what journey this ScrawlrBox went on from the UK to Australia. This is how it arrived at my place. So it's sort of fine on this end, and then it's really, really flat. And it's kind of open here, so I won't know if anything's missing until I read the zine and get a rundown of everything that was in the box. So let's open it up and see if everything survived. Oh my gosh, I never get that off in one go. Ooh. Nice colours. Paints. Okay, here's our little sticker, which is a section of this super cute whale print. I love this. It's almost like it's space and it's got wings, but it's a whale. That's sick. So our featured artist is Carolina or Carolina. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that, but this is their socials. And okay, so we have a number 8. I don't know what's the name of this brush, where it's sort of tapered and it's flat. Probably be in the zine. I'll read about that in a second. And we have 3 tubes, of Winsor and Newton gouache in nice size, nice generous size, 14 mil. So we've got permanent yellow deep, Prussian blue, and permanent alizarin crimson. So we've sort of got our primaries there, so we'll be able to do a lot with those. And our candy is a Chopper Chops cherry sticks. And our surface is the A5 watercolor paper, 10 sheets, 200 GSM. I would say this is a hot pressed because it's kind of smooth. It doesn't have much texture to it. And let's have a quick flip through of the zine, number 111. Yeah, so we're not missing anything. So the box was a bit damaged, but it's all good. Everything is in there. Here is a rundown of our supplies. I've got all of those. A sit down with featured artist and some more of their work, and these are really cool. I love these. This snake is amazing. Scrawler tips, just some basics and some techniques about how to use your gouache paints. I love using gouache. Deep dive leafy layers, so some more little techniques to try with a QR code for a tutorial. And then we have behind the artwork, what if a whale had wings? Well, I guess now we know it would look kind of like this. Scrawler, gallery, amoeba. This was a really fun box. I loved making the pieces with these supplies. They were super fun. And the top 3. Congrats, everyone. History of Winsor and Newton. Winsor and Newton. Answering your most commonly asked questions. Oh, interesting. This is a new page. Where to find reference photos. And spot the difference, a little piece on the differences between gouache, acrylic, and watercolor. So that's really interesting as well. And then we have a couple more QR codes. Looking for a burst of inspiration or some ideas to get you started. We have created a board of reference images. Cool, I'm definitely going to check that out. And then a link to the live streams that they have on YouTube. And our prompt for this month is mythical monsters. Now, I was just talking to my best friend about the Mothman last night on the phone, so that's sort of the first thing that comes to my mind. But let's swatch everything out and we'll check out Scrawlr's reference list and see if we get any ideas from there. And let's make some art. So this here is a 200 GSM watercolor paper. My personal preference is a thicker paper for, especially with watercolor and gouache when we're using like quite a lot of water. I prefer like a 300 GSM, just is my personal preference. But it's always great to get a full pad of paper, so no complaints. So we got 3 paint colors in the box. These are Winsor and Newton Designers Gouache. And we have the permanent alizarin crimson. And then this one is the Prussian blue. Gorgeous. So I just applied them directly to the paper straight from the tube just to see how matte and opaque they are. And then just added a bit of water to dilute them and see what kind of result we would get from that. The yellow shade is the permanent yellow deep. Now I like to add up the value of the supplies in Australian dollars just to see what the value of the box is. To get the box every month shipped to me, it works out to be approximately $45, $46 a month. And sometimes when the box has, not many supplies in it, I especially like to go in and just check what the value of the supplies are. Now I know that Winsor and Newton gouaches are really great quality. They're a very, very matte and opaque paint and I love using them. So I added up the prices and the alizarin crimson is $20.80 and these are in Australian dollars. And the blue and the yellow were both $11.95 each. So that comes to $44.70, which is about the price of the box. So I would say this is like the exact value of the box, but we've also got a cool paintbrush that I will often use and 10 sheets of paper. So I got the value out of this box. It's always good to add it up when there's only a few supplies in the box just to make sure. And I don't actually have a yellow like this in my collection, so this will be a really good one. I have a lot of primary yellows or brighter yellows, but this is a really beautiful, deep, rich yellow, and it was really nice mixing that, especially with the crimson to get those beautiful, deep orange shades. So I'll definitely be using these paints again. So this is kind of what I mixed with these primary colors. So I just want to jump in here and tell you about something very strange that happened to me. So like I said in that, when I was unboxing the box, I had just had a conversation on the phone the night previously with my very good friend B. Mentioned Mothman because they are going to Virginia. And I was like, oh, Mothman's from Virginia, West Virginia specifically, but like that area. And they had not heard of Mothman. So I didn't really go too much into the lore, but the next day I opened the box, saw what the prompt was, and that made me instantly think of Mothman. That same day over on Instagram, I have contributed a mini zine to a zine vending machine in my state, and they had shared a photo of some of the zines included. The first zine on the top of the pile was a Mothman zine. So I shared it to my story because my zine was also included in it, and B responded to that going, Mothman. And I said, yeah. And the weird thing is, like, the prompt from this ScrawlrBox also made me think about doing Mothman. So then those things had happened in a 24-hour period. Then yesterday, I got my sketchbook out to do some sketches for my Mothman piece that I'm going to do with these supplies, because I decided that I was going to do a Mothman. And I looked at the reference Pinterest board that ScrawlrBox had linked in the zine, and there was a couple of Mothmans in there. So I was like, cool, let's do a Mothman. I am not joking about this. I'm not exaggerating this in any way. I opened up my sketchbook on my desk right behind me there, and I was Googling Mothman just to get like some of the lore. And I'm not sure if you know, but well, I don't consider Mothman to be scary, like a monster. Mothman doesn't cause you harm, but Mothman is the premonition or shows up before a disaster. I am not joking, like no exaggeration here. I was literally reading about Mothman, about to start doing some sketches, and I hear all these explosions outside my window. 5 or 6 explosions, and then this huge plume of black smoke. This is what I saw outside my window. I'll pop a video here. Super scary. I'm very close with all of my neighbors, like in my immediate vicinity here. So I went outside and checked and made sure that everybody was okay. The smoke was coming from like directly behind my neighbors opposite me. It was very, very scary. I couldn't see any flames, but I could hear lots of yelling. It was so close. And we found out that there's a house in the next street that pretty much exploded. And I found out later on that the gas mains had exploded. So the house like exploded literally as the Mothman, I'm about to draw the Mothman, and the Mothman has come up in just organically, weirdly in my life 3 times in a 24-hour period. I have never had an encounter with the Mothman before. Apparently there is an Australian Mothman. Like, I didn't see the Mothman, but I was definitely thinking about Mothman and talking about Mothman. And then, you know, this fire happened and 2 houses burnt down. Fortunately, nobody was injured. Nobody was in either of the houses, which is a miracle. And everyone's fine. My house is a bit smoky. Everyone's sort of a bit shook up because, you know, one of my neighbors was very close to one of the people who lost their house. So, you know, it was very scary. The explosions were scary. All the smoke was scary. It was way too close. I started thinking, you know, we're going to have to evacuate. If the winds come this way, we're in trouble, because the only thing between that property and my neighbors is trees. Yeah, so I don't know if the Mothman was telling me that something was about to happen, because that's what Mothman does. But yeah, let me know if you've had any encounters specifically with the Mothman or anything weird like this happen to you. I'm so thankful and grateful that everybody is safe and everyone is okay. It's absolutely devastating that 2 houses are just completely gone and those people have lost everything. It's awful. But yeah, very, very strange day. And I'm like, do I still paint the Mothman? So yeah, let's paint Mothman, but let's make him super cute and not scary at all. Let's go. Okay, so I did sketch out with a graphite pencil beforehand, and we're just going to speed through this because I've talked enough. I've told you the stories about the Mothman. What do you think? Did I encounter the Mothman? Did I conjure up the Mothman? I really don't know. But yeah, very weird that he all of a sudden just popped up. And then we had a big fire. Kind of crazy. So I did want to do a very cute, hi Echo, a very cute, non-threatening Mothman. And Echo was very cute with me and stayed with me throughout the whole painting. You can see her fluff at the top of the screen there. So the Mothman is a creature, a large black creature with red glowing eyes. And the lore of the Mothman was that he was like a slender, muscular man, says the story on Wikipedia, 7 foot tall with white wings. However, the witnesses were unable to discern its face due to the hypnotic effect of its eyes. So I knew with this illustration, I wanted to just do those big red eyes, but I really wanted to make it like cute, like a cute little Mothman, fascinated by the light, because we know that moths love the light. And if you stay till the end of this video, I will have a choice moth meme for you. Remember the moth memes from a few years ago? They were so good. Let's bring them back. And I didn't have a black, so I just made him like deep blue with the white wings, and I've got the yellow as the light reflection off the star. It's a very bright star on that side of the Mothman. And like, he's cute, right? He's not scary. He's just a cute little moth. He likes to look up at the bright stars. So the Mothman was first encountered in 1966 in West Virginia. And a few people saw it, and then the next year a bridge collapsed and 46 people died. So this sort of was connected and became the legend that seeing the Mothman was the precursor to a disaster. And there was a movie, The Mothman Prophecies, made in the early 2000s, and that was based on a book, and I did see that. But anyway, the Mothman's not scary. Look at this guy. He's so cute. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and consider subscribing to the channel for more art stuff and more mythical monster lore, perhaps, hopefully not. Let me know if you have had any encounters with the Mothman. Yeah, I would love to know your stories about any kind of like weird encounters or experiences that you've had like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.